Hello, so I'm back again. This is my YouTube video message for April 12th, 2024. And let me just begin by saying that today is a bittersweet day for our family because my wife's mother went on to heaven 1 year ago today. And it's kind of it's one of those days where you celebrate her freedom into heaven, but you miss her dearly, and so we're dealing with that. Sorry about that. I have a Jerusalem cross that I got in Jerusalem. It's wood, and it was knocked over, and some of the little crosses in it came off, and I'm trying to glue it back, and it's been standing here letting the glue work. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Thank you for joining me today. What I want to talk about today is an amazing coincidence that was God ordained. So last week I left for Olathe, Kansas, flew into Kansas City, was in Olathe. My 8-year-old granddaughter received her first communion on Saturday, and I was able to give her first communion on Saturday, which was just in and of itself just a breathtaking experience. I literally just about lost my breath when I gave it to her, but that's not the point here. The point here is that beginning on Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, I did a 3-night we call it a mission in the Catholic Church. Some people call it a retreat. Some people call it evenings of reflection. But it was an hour presentation on Sunday night, Monday night, and Tuesday night. And the theme was who, what, and why. And the first night we dove into who, which is basically the source of my spirituality, is Ignatian spirituality. And I talked a little bit about that, St. Ignatius. But got to the point of who is God. And once we identify who God is, then our response to who God is very important. We spent the whole first night talking about that. The second night was what? So once we say that God has to be number one in our life, then we say, okay, what do we do about it? And that's where we talk about giving God our time, and using our talents for God, and then being faithful to share our treasure with Him, because He demands a tithe. Then the third night was the why, and that is, well, why do we do all this? And once you get to that point, you're pointing an arrow at salvation, but quite frankly, we're called not just to salvation, but we're called to live a fruitful, productive, joyful life here on our way to salvation. And the only way we can do that is to comply with the laws that Jesus and the Lord put in place for us, which is natural law. And it's a covenant law, and if we stay faithful to the covenant, we receive blessings. But if we breach the covenant, we receive curses. And so I dove into all of that sort of stuff. So it was an awesome mission. I wrote a book called, with a friend of mine, Billy Arsamont. It's called The Journey. The first edition was Journeying on Holy Ground. And then we had a second edition come out in paperback, and we shortened it to The Journey. And sold a bunch of books, signed books. It was incredible, humbling experience. But here's what happened, and this is the point of this video. The second night, which was Monday, I had forgotten some things at the house, and I was walking back to the car to go back to the house to get the things I had forgotten. And one of the gentlemen that had been there the night before stopped me. And he said, "Deacon, I want to tell you, I really enjoyed last night. I'm looking forward to tonight." And he sticks out his hand and says, "I'm Doug Billings." And I went, "Whoa, I saw you on the front row last night. I kept looking at you. I knew I recognized you, but I couldn't remember where." Well, Doug Billings has a show called The Right Side, and all during COVID, I watched his show just about every day. And I haven't been watching it as much lately, just because of life. You know, I got a new pastor and things are busy. I said, man, we need to talk. So after that second night, we sat down and talked for a long, long time. And I highly encourage you to Google Doug Billings, The Right Side. His what will pop up is a podcast that he did on Christian nationalism. It is phenomenal. And that's what I wanted to kind of talk about a little bit on this video today. What Doug talks about are some foundational principles that we have forgotten. Number one, our country was founded on and by people that were Christians. Okay, now were a couple of the founding fathers somewhat unattached to a Christian religion? Yeah, for sure. But most of them were Christian, and all of them agreed and embedded in our founding documents the idea that our rights do not come from the government. Our rights come from God. And we need to continue to remind ourselves and others that that's where our freedom comes from God, and allows us to be free from the bad things of the world. And Doug does a very good job on that audio, diving into the reality and the why of all those sorts of things. I came to know that Doug is fairly close to President Trump, that he is very close to General Flynn and some of the others that are shakers and movers in that small world of people that stay away from the mainstream media, that focus on the alternative media to get the truth out rather than fake news, which is what Donald Trump always talked about. So anyway, this video might get canceled because I just used those two words, but I'm a stay with it anyway. We'll see what happens. So what I wanted to share with you was this excitement that I had, that I met this guy that I had been following, that as we talked, we got closer and closer to the fact that we share so much in common, that our values are very similar, that our perspectives are very closely aligned, and that we're in this together. In fact, he gave me a copy of his book, which I have here somewhere. I have to go get it. Here it is. And I want to just read to you what he signed in it. It's called, and by the way, you might want to think about getting this book. It's called Remaking the American Political System. Remaking the American Political System, Doug Billings. And he says, to Deacon Jody, we're in this together. Believe it. For the Republic. He goes into detail on that audio that we're not a democracy. Every time you hear someone say, oh, we got to protect the democracy, they're lying. We are a republic. It's different. We're not a democracy. We were never meant to be a democracy. We were always meant to be a republic, and there's a significant difference. And that's at the heart of a lot of the confusion that goes on right now in the world, how a lot of people are trying to upend our system of life on that basis, saying that more people, are wanting to change than wanting what we have, which is nonsense. So anyway, I hope that you will go to Doug Billings. This is kind of an ad for Doug. I'm promoting Doug's show. I'm promoting his book because he has more time to devote to that. Now, that having been said, the reason he has time is because he left the corporate world. He focuses on communicating the truth, and he's deeply involved in it. And so if you can, support him also, because he needs the support. So with that, I'm going to ask you to hit the like button. Please share this. Share it to everybody you know, just to get the word out about Doug, because he's a very good guy. He's a very influential guy. And until next time, God bless everybody.